Hello and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we've got a fun one. We're getting further in the year now, and I turned around and for some reason I had a friend come over and we did a quick photo shoot with her makeup as a vampire, and I think it turned out pretty good. And I thought, I says, well, why not take it a step further and turn this into a real horror picture? So I says, let's have some fun. And so I decided that we'll go ahead and work with this picture. I also gathered a texture layer, okay, and I selected another texture layer, a darker layer of texture. And if you haven't done playing with textures, you really owe itself to do so. It's a lot of fun. You can have some great effects on your photos. Okay, and the last thing we need is some chipping paint. Okay, so there's a wall with some chip paint on it, and we can put these together and we can make a really interesting, scary photo. Okay, so, and again, I'm going to be winging this along the way, but I think in the end we'll have a pretty cool effect. Alright, so first things first is I need to take the chipping layer and move that into the vampire picture. So I'm going to click and drag and drop it in. And there we are. And I need to position it, okay? Because what I'm going to do with this chipping paint is I'm going to have it simulate like her skin has been peeling off and rotting and so forth. You know, she's a 1,000-year-old vampire, so she's got to have a little bit of wear and tear on the face. So I'm going to drop the opacity down on this layer so I can help see how I'm positioning. Okay, and then I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm going to position it how I think it would look good. Okay. I think that's not bad right there. Okay. And bring back the opacity. And we want to change the blend mode on this layer to multiply. And that helps us blend in with the skin. But it's still not believable. We still have the hard edges and that. And so we're going to need to do a little bit of work, a little bit of blending. And I think we can do that by first doing a levels adjustment layer. So bringing in a levels adjustment layer, and I'm going to make it a clipping mask so that it clips in just to affecting the peeled paint layer and nothing else. Okay, and I have my black point here, and I can pull that in, and that will make the black points blacker. And I'm going to pull the whites in, and I'm going to do that until I get a good blend. And I think that's pretty good right there. Okay. And so selecting back the peeled paint layer, I'm going to go ahead and put a mask on it. And painting in black. Okay, I'm going to just paint away where I want. I don't want these hard straight edges, right? So I want to blend it in. So that it doesn't look like a fake area. That's looking pretty good. And all I'm doing is just selectively where I want to cover or uncover the mask. And I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so there and there. I think that blends in nicely. Okay, so I think maybe one more. So I'm going to take these, highlight these two layers, the levels and the peeled paint, and I'm going to put it in a group. Okay, and I'm going to label that group skin peel, and we'll call it 1. All right, so now I have those two layers in the group. Okay, And now with that group selected, I can duplicate that whole group. And I'm going to do that by Command J. And now I have a copy. And working on the second one, I'm going to rename this one Peeled Skin 2. And I'm going to select the peeled paint layer, and I'm going to free transform, okay, because I want to do a little more on the face, and I'll maybe rotate it a little bit, okay, or maybe I'll rotate it a lot. We'll see. I think that's pretty good. And now I have a little bit of more. See, with what we do on the face, we've done that. So now I need to mask away what I don't want. Okay, again, painting in black, and that I can remove anything that I don't want. Like in her fell into the mouth area here, I can remove this. And just anywhere else I don't want the effect to come in. And I think that's looking pretty good right there. There we are. I think that's looking pretty good. So now we have our layers here. So we have our first addition here to the skin, and we have our second. So looking a little more realistic. Okay, so now let's go ahead and bring in some of the textures. I think we'll take the light one in first and drag that in and drop that into the vampire here. And we're going to need to resize it, Command or Control T, and just drag it out till it fits the screen. And that looks pretty good. And I'm going to change the blending mode to overlay. So see how that looks there. See how it's starting to give a nice effect here. And let's bring in the second texture layer, and we will click and drag that in, and do the same thing again, Command or Control T, and we will change the blend mode again to overlay. And that's looking pretty good. That's not looking too bad. All right. So let's see, the last thing here. We're going to do a curves adjustment layer. And what we want to do is we want to bring some more contrast into this. And so I'm just going to bring in and do a maximum strong contrast. See how that looks. That's looking pretty good there. Okay, so let's see here. I think that's looking pretty horrifying at this point. So what was the purpose of today? Nothing more than just getting into Photoshop and playing around, experimenting, learning blend modes, learning how textures affect images, how the different blend modes affect images, and to have fun, creativity. That's what it's always about. So hopefully you found it useful. Until next week, you guys take care.